Sandy here, and right here on my phone you can see the first sketch that we are going to stretch. It is a 12 by 12 sketch from Shimelle Laine, and I am going to smush it down to a 6 by 12 layout using this background paper. So let's see what I can do. First thing I need to do is use my trimmer to trim this down because I am doing a 6 by 12 layout. And this is going to go in our family Disney album from 2015. I thought I had completed this album, however, found I had never had any of our PhotoPass pictures printed. So I had those printed, and now I am filling in the layouts to fill up that album. So I just used this 6 by 12 paper pack, or 6 by 8 paper pack from Say Cheese by Simple Stories. And I just found this little dotted paper and I liked it. I thought that it gave good contrast against the background paper, so that's what I'm going with. And while I'm situating my photo and trying to figure out what I'm doing here with this sketch, go ahead and make sure you click all the links below so that you can check out everyone else's layouts who is along for the Stretch Your Sketch ride. Now this sketch, not really stretching it per se, I'm more smooshing it. So I smushed it and I also turned it to make do with this 6 by 12 paper. Now the paper itself is from the Imagine line from Creative Memories, and the paper is very thin. It is the kind that goes wobble wobble. So if you're looking for good, like traditional Disney colors, then that is a perfect paper line for you. However, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more solid, you might have to back it or just kind of like deal with it, which is what I'm doing. I'm dealing with it. Now I'm using these Mickey hands that a good scrappy friend of mine, Melissa, sent me. Hey! And then I'm using those as the arrows on the sketch. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, do I want to use a pre-made title? Do I want to use some pre-made elements? I really have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm scrapbooking this layout the day that I'm heading out for our East Coast scrapbooking retreat. So I had actually packed away the trimmer that I use on a regular basis, and I packed away my scissors, and I packed away everything, like my go-to things I use every single time. So to complete this project, I needed to pull out supplies that I knew I hadn't pulled anything for, and that was my Disney supplies. So just trying to figure it out. And I really like that polka dotted heart, and I meant to bring it back to the layout, but I promptly forgot about it. So, you know, that's what happens. It's even right on my desk, right off to the left-hand side, like it's right there, which is normally what I do when I don't want to forget that I have something, is to put it right on my desk, and I just missed it. Now, these are Say Cheese chipboards right here, and it is a new package because I purchased it again. Because yes, I have purchased that chipboard package and used every single piece of chipboard on it already once. But honestly, guys, I go to Disney on the regular, usually once a year. Back around 2012-ish, I had an annual pass, and I think I went like 6 times. But nobody needs to know that, so shh. Just to give you a little bit of background, we took our kids to Walt Disney World in 2008. We thought it was going to be a like once in a lifetime trip. Like this was going to be their big Disney experience, because we felt like every kid needed a big Disney experience. My husband had gone when he was younger, and he wasn't really a fan. But then we went on that trip, and we went back later that same year for our 10-year anniversary, and like really just fell in love with it and just kept going back. So ever since then, we got the Disney fever, and today, actually, my husband said that he wanted to go and made my heart flutter because I was so excited. But no Disney trips this year, so I have to live vicariously through my scrapbooking layouts here. So let's get to it. Now that is from the cut apart sheet from, I think it's Say Cheese 3 collection. And I'm using these hands, like I said, for the arrows that are in the sketch. And I struggle with this a little bit with placement and where I want it to go, and because I don't want the hands to cover up any of the spires on the castle. So it's just a matter of really just figuring out the placement so there aren't awkward places up at the top where the gloves are overlapping, and there's no awkwardness where the gloves go down over the castle, because I really, really do not want to cover up any of those spires, because Cinderella Castle is, it's the best. So I decided what I was going to do was just shift down the photo ever so slightly. And it's not a whole lot, maybe between like 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, but it just gives me enough so that I'm not covering up that top spire on the castle. And I just got a glimpse of the top of my ATG gun, and there is a word phrase that I had lost stuck to the top of it. Well, that's good to know that that's where it is now. Now, one of the things I like to do on these little pre-made cards is add little bits to kind of make them my own. So sometimes I will stitch over the stitching. I decided I didn't have time for that. Like I said, I'm going on an airplane this afternoon or this evening to scrapbook with a bunch of great ladies, which some of them are on this YouTube hop. So be sure, again, like I said earlier, to check them out. And totally lost what I was just saying there. Oh well. Okay, let's move on to the next thought. It's ridiculous. Thoughts are in my head and they're coming out of my mouth, and while I'm saying them, I'm losing them. Okay, so I have those 3 arrows from the sketch, and I'm using the 3 areas that I have these Mickey gloves. And I really like how this turned out. It's, like I said, it's a little filler page. I'm bringing in the photos. Some of them are going to be full 12x12 layouts. Some of them are going in pocket pages. Some of them will be these 6.5 or 6x12 layouts. It's just a matter of trying to get these PhotoPass photos down. So here is a little die cut that says Main Street, and it had a yellow star on it, but I wanted to bring in the silver stars, so I decided to just cover that yellow star up with a silver star, and I decided to switch out magic. Not because I don't think that this photo is magical. I mean, it was on our Halloween party day, so my husband and I are in X-Men shirts. Our girls Disney bound it as Cinderella's stepsisters, and my son Disney bound it as Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb. So it's definitely a magical moment for us, wearing those kind of things and having that kind of fun, but we are standing on Main Street, so I just decided to go with Main Street. Just in case anybody didn't know, the Cinderella Castle is, when you walk into the park, you walk into this little courtyard area, and you're on Main Street. Main Street is straight ahead. Cinderella Castle is straight ahead. So I just wanted to document that a little bit. Now I decided to bring in another texture here, and I went with these Studio Calico cork things, and I decided to cover up that black arrow because, again, I like to make these pre-printed cards my own, and I just went ahead and flipped it around so that the arrow was pointing into the page, and then I added another arrow on the bottom just to give me another place where that cork would be, and also just repeat it a little bit. Now I'm going through my enamel dots, and I thought I was going to use the yellow ones. I specifically bought these yellow ones to use in my Disney albums, but the yellow on the page already is kind of like a deeper muted one, and this was a brighter one. So I decided to go with the black enamel dots, and I'm just sprinkling them about the page, and I'm also using them to overlap some of the stars just to give it a little bit of oomph, because I mean the silver stars definitely pack a punch on their own. They definitely do, but just to give it a little bit extra, give it that little, it's a little new texture. It's like a shiny, flat, semi-flat, I would say, texture. So that, after I get these enamel dots, that's going to do it for this page. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, make sure you check out all the other great ladies on this YouTube hop, and we'll see you next month.